boffed it up. Oh, hello guys. Hello, welcome to this lesson. I'd just like to start by saying thank you for turning up if you come in here and it's live. I've had some comments that I waffle too much. And to be fair, you know, maybe I am going a little bit stir crazy with all this corona nonsense. Maybe you're going a little bit stir crazy with all this nonsense, but maybe people expect too much from YouTube guitar lessons. If that's the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the description today for my Facebook group where I'd love to meet people in there. I like to talk to people in the super chat. So if I waffle, then that's what it's about, because I like to engage with you guys. Today's lesson, however, I'm stopping waffling here, is all about this 8-bar blues. It's really, really easy to play. It's essentially based on 3 chords, an E chord, an A chord, and a B7. The B7 is a C shape, which I'll show to you and explain to you in a bit. You can get this one in a week. As usual, I will put PDF in the description. If that's something that you think that you would find valuable, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and all that malarkey. So without further ado, let's get on with this. The 8-bar blues is not something that you would really hear of that much. You generally hear about the 12-bar blues. That's the most common variety of blues that you would hear. The 8-bar blues, however, is the shortened cousin, if you will. I find that the 8-bar blues, because the chords change it a little bit more often, is quite an interesting one to learn. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to learn the chords and the changes, and I'll come back to this one again and show you some bits to add to this so that you can flower it up over time. That'll be in another lesson because I don't want to waffle, obviously. So the first chord we're going to play is an E major chord. This is an E chord. And like I say, guys, the chords and everything else is in the PDF that's in the description. We play the E chord and we strum that 4 times. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first bar. The second bar, we play an E7. Now, an E7 is easier to get to than you think. All you need to do is take that 3rd finger off there. So if you take that 3rd finger off, what happens is this root note is lowered, major 7, dominant 7. So this gives us an E7 chord. And that's a nice, easy shape to get your fingers around. But make sure that you can hear that open D string and that your second finger isn't choking that note out. That's a very common thing that happens. So we've got this E7. And the cool thing that we can do here is we can pivot off this index finger that's already there for the E shape. Swing round, put fingers 2 and 3 on for the A7 chord. Take that 1st finger off. Remember me saying I did a video the other couple of days ago about the A chord. If you play the A chord like this, it's a better grip because it enables you to change cleaner than this version here. So this one, you get to pivot on that 1st finger, land fingers 2 and 3, take your 1st finger off. It's as easy as that. So it's about transferring. I call it handing off, or it's part of something that I call clockwork chords. Yeah, so there's the E7. That is that bluesy sounding A chord. And these are all 7th chords here. So we take that A7, and this is for 2 bars. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's actually bar 3 and bar 4. So in total, the first 4 bars goes like this. E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3rd finger off, E7, 1, 2, 3, 4, pivot on the index, swing round, land that A7, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. So that gives you your first 4 bars. Now we're coming into the last 4 bars. The last 2 bars of this are something called a turnaround. When I hit it, you'll know why, and you can hear why. So the next 2 chords are E and B7. So we play, go back to that E again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's the cool thing that we do here, and this is another handoff. The way that we switch to the B7, what happens is this finger goes north and this finger goes south, and then we add the pinky on. So watch, I'll show you how the mechanics of that works. It goes first finger up, third finger down, then we put the pinky on the second fret of that thin E string there. Yeah? So that goes, I'll show you again up close, E. And I'd say that in itself is a nice little thing that I call a 2-chord loop. Just take 2 chords and play the hell out of them. I think that's actually the Mavericks' Just Want to Dance the Night Away as well. So just playing that, practice that bit there. Now, so far, in the first 6 bars of an 8-bar blues, you have 1 chord per bar. So that means you strum the chord 4 times. There's the E, E7, pivot on that index finger to get to the A7, take the first finger off. There's bar 3, there's bar 4. First finger's hovering so I can get onto my E. North and south to get to the B7. Now, the last 2 bars, we have something called the turnaround. And what happens in the turnaround with the chords is we get E7 and A7 in bar 7. So it goes like this. E7, pivot, get the A7, back to the E7, then to the B7, and that is the last 2 bars. That's bar 7 and 8. Sorry there, guys. So look, so do that again. Here's bar 7. Pivot, switch to the A7. Bar 8, and the final bar, go back to the E7. And then what we do is we first finger up, third finger doesn't need to come off, so that just goes on B7. So essentially, that is where there is more. That's where more chords are actually changing. So we go. There's 2 strums, so essentially you have less thinking time. So because you have less thinking time, what you want to do when you're practicing this is make sure that the speed of the turnaround dictates the speed of the whole piece. There's no point in going. You know, playing the chords. Sorry, I played that. I played a different one there. And then slowing down. Make sure that the speed that you play the turnaround is the speed of the whole thing. Because it's easy to play those single chords for a whole bar, but playing 2 chords per bar, it's just a little bit more challenging. So really, you know, you need to kind of make sure that you build that into that. What I'd say with this as well, guys, is the turnaround becomes so many different things that you can put in there. That's the subject of future lessons. If you play this solidly for 5 minutes, just keep going, yeah, and play this for 5 minutes twice a day. Just play the patterns, get a metronome going or something, just strum it gently. And the thing is, and slowly, and the thing is, remember that, don't worry, there is a handout coming. That the more you play this, the kind of the easier it will be. So if you play it twice a day, 5 minutes, just keep going slowly. You will learn it quickly. You'll have it in a week and it will be something that you will play. I think that the 8-bar blues in E is kind of an important part of a guitarist's repertoire. There are certain key songs that guitarists need to know, especially for a jam scenario. If you meet up with other guitarists and you know you want to say, all right, okay, do you know something like Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix? That's one that you need to know. And that's a good one. And I'll probably teach that on here, actually, because it really illustrates cage chord changes. So 12 bar blues, these sort of things, guys. Maybe I'm waffling now. I've had some comments about it, and it's just ticked me off a little bit, man, because someone can come on and just basically ruin your whole day by I come on here and I give my time, and and it's not good enough sometimes. I think sometimes that YouTube is kind of one of those places where it's like you come for the information, and the videos, people tend to treat them like a hooker. You don't want to get to know. I want to get to know you guys. So like I said at the beginning of the thing, I'm going to drop a link to my Facebook group where, do you know what, I just feel it's a little bit more relaxed. I can talk to you. I enjoy talking to you guys. I've been cooped up in the house. You've been cooped up in the house. We're all in quarantine and lockdown, whichever way you want to call it. Yeah. So if that's your thing, then that's fine. Just some people are just never going to be happy, I suppose. But I enjoy coming on here live and teaching these lessons, seeing you guys in the chat there, and seeing you. You know what I mean? So yeah, it can be a little bit disheartening. So okay, well, we'll crack on. And I will see you later. If this is your first time, sorry for the waffle, man. Sorry for the rant. But if you feel you've got some value from this, and don't forget, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and keep on putting more bits and bobs into this, and we'll make it more fancy. And I'll show you some variants of the E7 and the A7 that we can do, so you can mix it up a little bit. If you've, like I say, you've got some value from this, please consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell for when I go live, and also make sure you hit that like button. If you really do not like this video, don't comment. Yeah, and if you don't, hit that dislike button twice. Yes, and I will see you guys. You guys who come in the chat and talk to me in the comments, I super appreciate you. Yeah, so hit that Facebook link, and I will see you later. Take care. Stay safe. We're going shopping to the supermarket today. It's perilous.